What the hell was that all about, right? Holy shit, I don't know how to feel. Because on the one hand, the violent insurrection attempted by the worst our nation's basements have to offer was a nigh comical farce and abject failure, but on the other hand, they attempted a goddamn violent insurrection. What the hell? Because Capitol Police put up very little resistance. Yeah, it's almost starting to seem like there's a double standard in this country where law enforcement is concerned. Yeah, if you're a black man, you better stay out of trouble in high school and keep your goddamn hands out of your pockets. You're basically begging to get shot in public. But if you're an Indiana neckbeard draped in a snake flag and some ninja stars from the mall, well, welcome to Congress, sir. Come on in. No,
I didn't see him going there with that.
It's fine. I'll see you on the internet later. What a fucking disgrace. Not that anyone was surprised by that, of course, least of all the insurgents. You could just tell they had every expectation of showing up, doing whatever the hell they wanted. Complete entitlement, like, for example, Elizabeth from Knoxville. I was just trying to storm the Capitol building as part of a violent revolution, and they were so mean to me. Like, yeah, no shit, you fucking fence post. That's how it works. It's like Mama always said, play stupid games, get maced in the fucking eyeballs, you dumb bitch. I hope Elizabeth realizes it could have been a lot worse. Another woman got shot in the neck and died. Fun fact, one of the only things I have in common with President Trump is that I, too, have already forgotten her name because I didn't give a shit about what happened to her in the first place. I hope it was worth it, lady. Not that Trump was absent from all this, though. Of course not. He stoked the fires to begin with. He refused to call in the National Guard. He even went so far as to tell these idiots that he, quote, loves them and thinks they're very special. Meanwhile, Eric Trump's in the back like, I thought you didn't know those words. I hope that little message from Daddy is enough to sustain them because they didn't accomplish shit else yesterday.
This shit is good.
You know, that's the one constant source of reassurance we have. Their dogged devotion to being completely, utterly incompetent.
Fucking
they were in the goddamn Capitol building for 3 hours and all they got to show for it is a body count on their side and some proof of felony selfies. It was the classic dog catches car moment. They had no fucking clue what to do with it when they did. Like, I don't know. I didn't expect to get this far. Did you expect to get this far? I don't know.
We're gonna bring this up. We're gonna bring this up.
Or something. I don't know. They have no plan. They have no organization. They don't even know what the fuck they want. But don't get me wrong. They should be held accountable. Of course, them and every spineless Republican politician who helped to initiate this edition of Treason for Dummies yesterday. Some of them have changed their stance on it after the assault happened. It's funny how Republicans can do a complete 180 on the issue whenever it affects them personally for the very first time. Wish we could, like, shoot them with a gay minority poverty ray or something and make them be less shitty about all the other things in the world, but whatever. I guess I'll take it.
Gay poverty.
I'll take it because it's all we're going to get right now, and we know it. All right? Trump, Cruz, Hawley, and all the sentient goatees who participated yesterday should be held accountable, but I'll believe that shit when I see it. Either way, those of us still on the side of sanity need to do two things. Number one, make it through a couple more weeks. Number two, start treating these Trumpers like the terrorists they are. Never forget the bullshit they pulled and do everything in our power to ensure they can't win. Love y'all. We're going to be okay.
That's cute. I like that. That was a good, that was content. That was good. But now I got to bring this up. I have food. Give me a second. We need to bring this up though. I don't think anyone, liberal or conservative, has realized the full implications of the shit show that happened in Washington this week. This post just says, there is no chance in hell that there wasn't somebody from like a higher up intelligence agency or like a foreign insurgent that wasn't a part of that group. Our representatives are in charge of allocating budgets for national security operations, which requires sensitive knowledge of U.S. operatives planted overseas, along with Secret Service agents conducting sensitive missions. It is absolutely crucial that the identities of these individuals stay secret as to not jeopardize their health, safety, and missions. U.S. agents who have infiltrated terror cells, cartels, and hostage extraction negotiations, all their lives are now in jeopardy because our national security is compromised. When these larger dipshits storm the Capitol in their party store costumes and surplus store gear, and the police stood aside and let them in, they didn't just let in people who shared their political ideologies. They let in everyone. Our enemies, their enemies, and anyone who could walk in and take whatever sensitive material they wanted. Sensitive diplomatic missions, backdoor negotiations, and deals we put in place to keep the peace with other heads of states are all compromised. And what's worse is that they could have planted bugs that require weeks to sweep for, assuming they're ever found. When the police who are hired to protect our state stand aside and let foreign agents in, our national security has been compromised at the deepest level, and those who are complicit in this, regardless of political affiliation, should be held accountable for their treason, because that's exactly what this is. Treason. Eat shit if you support in any way, shape, or form. Thanks. I didn't even really think about that, because we were talking about that a little bit, like, you know, they could have took anything they wanted, and they decided, oh, I'm gonna take the stand of Nancy Pelosi, or I'm gonna take photos with them, or I'm just gonna stand around and do nothing. Like, somebody could have weaseled their way in the back door and took a file or folder that has like the Secret Service detail of these certain people. Then they put that on a deep web website, and that gets picked up by foreign people. Oh, now we know their names. Now we could go after them directly. The news is going to have to cover it because it's going to be fucking insane. And we're going to ask, how did they get that information? Like, this is what I mean about nuance. That's how you end up with a cohesive working class, lower class. Point them at the actual, like, so there's an argument to be made that there's no way these people like were that ingenuous to think that far ahead. But what if there was just one? What if there was some guy from Russia who took the plane, has been a deep state agent for a long time of Russia, heard about this and was like, yo, I could get in there. Now we've got the cover. Now we've got, like, I really do think that now National Treasure was a fake ass movie, because look at these people elaborately planning a way. Movie producers, there was a tweet about this earlier. Movie producers, I do filmmaking. The legwork to figure out how to tell a story in which you have to break into the government without it seeming like it's super easy, like, you have to be elaborate with that. You have to drive up a huge plot, massive like coordination. You need to have that, the script, like all of that. You need to make it look as legit an infiltration as possible. These fuckheads just walk through the front door. How do we know that there wasn't one or two people who have way more resources? Ex-CIA agents. How do we know there's not somebody who had a bone to pick with one of the senators and he's like, I'm going to get their private information. I'm going to get the GPS track. I'm going to figure out a way to get GPS track on them. All of it is compromised. And it will take years to figure out how much information could or could not have possibly been leaked. Maybe just randomly, not saying it happened, but like, let's just say randomly, the way to break Apple's verification process is hidden in a Senate folder, and they trust that person with the gone. Now we have to make sure it hasn't been photocopied. Pictures haven't been taken of it. Mass surveillance now. Now we have to get the pictures of every person that was there. You have to get facial ID recognition. Contact tracing. Like, you've got to think about, you have to contact trace. You have to monitor for possible information leakage. All because you wanted to be there to do what? Tell them how much I love Donald Trump! I know you can say, let's hope. Let's hope that they were idiots. Let's hope. But here's the problem with that. You can't take a risk on it. I know that the fuckhead that's drunk at my apartment right now might steal some shit, but let's hope this time he doesn't. Then you get back home and you're like, oh shit, he took like $2 that was underneath my table. I wonder what else he took. And forever you'll be wondering if shit's gone missing. Can't take that risk. And this is like where I want to end that segment. Like, the aftermath of this is more massive than I think we're willing to admit. A lot of problems that we're having in this country, I think a lot of people don't want to admit. So I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to make this super quick. For those of you who are in this chat, do me one favor. I know we like video games, bro. I love video games to death. Like, I'm here to play. I'm here to like do whatever. I'm here to create content. I'm here to like be a friend. I want you to just personally implore yourself for 1 second to ask this question. How long are we going to dodge world at large issues because we don't want to put ourselves in harm's way? How long are we going to have talks like this before we say, shit, this is something that we really need to pay attention to, and this is something that we need to... My camera is not straight, and that has been bothering me for a long period of time. I'm sorry. Yeah, how long are we going to make this How long are we going to dodge this? How long are we going to quell ourselves with consumerism and say, I like talking about it, but I can't do anything about it? When are we going to take it serious? It's funny to make memes about World War III starting, but like World War III almost started. Can we have a moment? Can you have a moment in your day where you just take these issues seriously? I understand you got bills to pay, you got a job, you got this, that. Like, I know that there are things hindering you from like talking about it 24/7, and nobody wants to talk about it 24/7. And I'm not asking you to do that. But I am asking you, when are we going to take this serious? When are we going to say that, like, every move from this point on is too much? That's too far. Like, you've gone too far. You need to go back into your hole. Because the problems that we're seeing right now aren't just like, oh, Trump gets eliminated and that's it. If he says one thing out his mouth, he gets on a news station, he gets on something, it's game over. It's game over. So I'm just asking you, take it serious for a second. Just take it serious for a second. If you could do that, then maybe we can move somewhere. But I need you to take it serious for a second. That was loud, sorry. Oh, he's wedged in the door. Yeah, this comment addressed that. The thing that stood out to me is how the one voice is saying, hey, when the cops are hitting back as though you should never be hit. Almost like, how dare you try to stop us from storming the building. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. These are your patriots? Like, you want me to have a conversation in which you take their side? And you want me to have, like, a civil conversation with you? No. 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 Hell no. I love that shit. He just stepped on one there. We're going to watch that in a while. Cuomo back up in the news. And de Blasio up in the news. And for those of you who know me personally, you know my gripe, what I'm going on about these two guys. So apparently Cuomo's things are so strict. I don't know what that is. I call on President Trump to resign. If he refuses, I call for impeachment. I get it, you're a governor, like, calm down though. Like, you're not doing that well of a job yourself. I understand we're all Daddy Cuomo in the chat, but like, oh, he just changed it. Okay. He wasn't even allowing essential workers and the elderly to get the vaccine. He was like hoarding the shit. He was like running like a really terrible operation. What the fuck is this? At this point, I'm starting to think that every single person who ever supported Trump, myself included, should go on a fucking apology tour because, for God's sakes, man, had me in there screaming literally, come on, man! Like, no way. No way. No way. People should be worried that the Dems are going to reproduce the exact same material conditions that led to his election. We're only going to get a more competent version of Trump if we don't learn from our mistakes. Yep. To be fair, it was business as usual for the first 3 years. Last year was when he really fell the fuck apart and tried going full dictator. Not a fan of Trump, but he only really acted that bad when he lost the election. No matter who won, something like this was going to happen in the next few years. We'll see more of it. I've said that before the initial pandemic outbreak would have happened, no matter who was president, but the following reactions would have been different. Trump just kept bungling, led to his defeat. Okay. Anyway, Cuomo is just fucking up, but I guess he's doing a great job. I don't know. When are we legalizing marijuana? Like, come on, let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Gov. Okay, you're just being